That's a fact. That's Morris.
No more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
What's up, horror fiends? It's your boy Ricky Grimes back at you once again with my boys. JR, what up, son? How you doing?
Well, we're gonna do talk about one of the most underrated but yet successful horror movies that went in the theater. So is
Love
it a
to see it.
smile or is it gonna leave us with a grin?
Joe, what up, son?
What's up? What's up? Well, you know, it's funny. I was like, son of a bitch, he always takes my lines. So at least on this time, you know, are we gonna finish this with a smile or with a frown?
See, you guys are brothers. That's how you know.
I know.
You guys stick to.
I've been like literally all day I was driving around going, he's gonna take some kind of line that I'm like, think.
We are going to be discussing the 22 film Smile, directed by Parker Finn. This is his first feature. He actually did a few shorts, one of them being Laura Hasn't Slept, which was this film, was a short film initially with the same actress that played the first victim, but this was turned into Smile because it was, you know, he submitted it and he got the funding for it. So good shit. Love to see it. What's up, my friends? Joe, we're going to start with you. This film, now, if you saw the movie, it's ain't a breakdown. We're just going to be discussing the key points, and we're going to talk about what we liked and what we didn't like. So it's not a frame-by-frame breakdown of the entire film. Watch it. There will be spoilers here. So, Joe, this curse, man, this was a unique one, brother. It was passed around. Now, I say unique, but it's not initially unique because we've seen it before. But not quite like this. Not to say it's terribly original. I'm not saying it's that because it's not. But what do you think about that, sir?
What I think is that you literally took all my lines.
Dude, I said like 4 things, bro.
Literally everything you were gonna say. I tried to see if there was another movie that a curse was passed along the way that this was, and for me, I couldn't recall of one. So that's why when you said unique, I had a unique way that it was being passed around. I mean, do you guys know anywhere that there was another movie similar?
GR knows.
Two. One of them was It Follows, but it just went backwards. The curse went backwards. Remember, you had to basically give it to somebody else in order for it to bounce off of you.
I know, but that one you had to give it. But as far as so this one got passed around by trauma.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned.
You either had to suicide or murder to pass it. So is there another movie that?
No, not like that.
No,
that's
not
why.
like that. Not like that.
That's why I'm sorry. That's why I said unique, but not terribly original, because we've seen this type of film before, but not done this way.
Not that way. So that's why, because I really was trying to like rack my brain, and I'm like, maybe they might come up with something, but no movie has been done where in order to pass the curse, it involves the person that's getting passed to having to experience the trauma, which is watching a suicide or a murder.
Joe, good shout on the trauma part, brother. How are you, Joe? How do you feel about that?
Well, I like the curse. I mean, it was funny. I was talking to a coworker. He was like, you know, I seen this movie. It reminded me of Fallen, the 1998 film with Denzel Washington.
Yes.
Where it was a serial killer that was jumping from body to body.
Great movie, by the way.
So he was like, you know, he reminded me that. The reason I mentioned It Follows because, you know, it's a curse, but it just goes, it backtracks. So instead of going forward, it goes behind. You know, you have to basically, you know, have sex, pass it on, and then hope that the person you pass it on to continues going, which is ironic because it was a scene where she went to the jail, talked to the guy who basically beat it. And, you know, the minute, you know, he found out, you know, it was with her, he starts freaking out like crazy. And I seen that guy in plenty of movies. I can't pinpoint where it was, but he's been in a lot of movies. Yeah,
I know. What guy was it?
The
guy in the jail. The dude in the jail who actually beat the curse. He murdered somebody in order to have somebody else witness a traumatic event.
Yeah, he beat the system.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I kind of like the you know, the way it kept going. I like how they didn't really, which I'm glad they didn't do this, go into the history of how it began, exactly where it came from.
I like that.
There's no need for that, and I'm glad they didn't go that route. But one more thing, dude, A-Train. 10. Come on.
Listen, Jesse T. Usher. Huh?
Yes.
He's
Hey,
still
dude!
he still turned out to be an asshole though.
He's always an
Oh,
asshole.
he plays that real good though.
Except in Walking Dead, he wasn't an asshole.
But yeah, for me, the curse, I like the way it was passed. It was, like you said, it was not original, unique.
Yes.
But it kind of helped the movie's flow going forward.
JR, tell me, so this entity, now we discovered late in the film it's an entity. Whoa. I personally have my opinions on it, but what did you think about the big reveal and what this entity embodied?
Well, I like the fact that it comes from a traumatic experience, regardless of, I mean, anybody who witnesses a suicide, that stays with you for the rest of your life, no matter what.
Yeah.
So even if it's not the entity, it's still experiencing that, witnessing that. Yeah. I mean, they have some. I mean, I wish they would have did more of a close up with the dude with the freaking. Was it the cutters where he just
he walked up.
Oh yeah, that I wanted more of that, but like for me, I liked that. The knock I would have, the two knocks I would have on entities is this. One is I didn't want the demonic voice for some reason. I wanted something playful to go along with the fact it's a smile. So the demonic voice kind of turned me off.
Demonic voice, huh?
Yeah.
I must wait. It talked?
Yeah,
it talked. It talked.
I'm thinking of the last shot. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. It was somebody that Rose looked at.
Melinda.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. That was a case of just trying too hard to be
I would have. If it was more playful, I would have liked it a little bit more because it goes with the whole smile thing. The fact that's messing with you, tormenting you. And this is the third movie we've seen that you have a giant woman just limber around, because you had the old lady in chapter 2 of it, when she came out the room and sees this, when
JR brought this up to me the first time, the first thing he said was a big giant woman and big saggy titties.
Yeah, that one. Then you had, Barbarian, tall woman. So that kind of turned me off a little bit. I rather have preferred that they kept it somebody she known more, like in the human form. But no, I kind of liked it. Like I said, the demonic voice and the fact that it appeared in unusual places, which once again tied to It Follows, where only the person who's cursed could see it. For me, the best scene was the birthday party, where basically she's yelling. Anybody sees it, then she goes, and then she goes through the glass table, and everybody's just standing there like
in there. Like, what kind of friends do you have that nobody went and got nobody like to get the glass off of you? Somebody get a towel. Somebody go get something.
Oh, that's
and they're
scary.
all looking at you like, oh my god, you're like, oh god.
Yeah, I thought like, me sitting up like, what the fuck?
I loved the scene where basically the smile entity went in her and like pulled the bottom of her mouth and went inside.
Yeah.
I loved how it was shot.
Amazing.
It was like, and the thing is, it's kind of like you felt like you were in that moment with her. At least when I watched it, I'm not gonna lie, because it took everything out. It was all black, and just this scene, and then like you're like, what's going on here? And you see the mouth, and all of a sudden, it's going in here, and I'm like, oh my god, that's how it takes over.
That's how it.
Oh god, that's horrible. Like, I don't want to be sitting there frozen with something stretching my mouth to go inside me. But the cinematography in that scene, it was ominous. That's the word I can use. It was ominous on how it was done. You did have a score going on, but then when you're watching it, it's almost as your ear knocks out that score, and you're just living through this scene. So I like the spy entity. I agree, JR. It falls under what we've seen before. Here's the thing, though. All these people wrote these movies probably all around the same time. There's been a lot of times that just by coincidence, people, even in TV shows, you see something like, oh, I saw this before. I don't think these people talk to each other. I guess maybe it was just the time that everybody's imagination now imagine tall, old, saggy titty. But it's because I'm gonna at the end make a comparison myself, because I'm glad somebody else is going to compare it to other movies. But yeah, no, I did like it. I like that it tied into, you knew very little of it, but then knowing how it actually gets into the person before they commit their act was, because you're like, oh no. So literally, so now I know that if it pulls my mouth open, I'm done. Like,
the question is, if it pulled your mouth open, how did it put it back? Like it really like ripped it down and stretched it
did.
out.
Well, probably as it's going in, his hand goes out and then just kind of puts it back in place.
But you mentioned that scene, ominous. Great word to describe it. I think that the dread is another word I use for that scene, because there's no way out.
No,
she's gone. That's no hope. Helplessness. That's all that scene embodies. And that was, oh man, I think that's my favorite scene in the flick, bro. I'm glad you brought it up.
I'm glad.
That's my favorite.
Because like I said, well, and Adam goes, we got to watch it in the dark.
Good mix with practical.
So
and
when
CGI,
once it got into the dark, and you got that scene, like I said, once it cut, everything was black around. All of a sudden, you just saw them. And my living room, like if you ever come to my house, like, because I love to watch movies in the dark, it's all set up for this place to be a cave. It looked awesome where it was just the two figures. That's all you saw. And then the head.
The only thing I would say about that is I would have, I know within the story confines, it's not practical, but I would have had the whole jaw just rip off and go in. But the problem is how you put it back. But when it's stretched out, it reminded me too much like a Beetlejuice and that type of stuff.
I do agree with that. I thought about that at the same time. But then I went with Santa Claus has got to stretch at the chimney to get in the house. So yeah, you got to use your imagination. This is coming out in December, so I mean, we might as well throw in some Christmas references here and there.
So Joe the psychologist. Now, the one thing with this film, this curse is passed. You mentioned trauma, but either you kill someone or you kill yourself. The two main rules of Smile. Joe, what option were you at taking, man? Because this is a tough one, man.
It is a tough one. Because honestly, because the whole thing is, if you kill someone, you have to have a witness.
Yeah.
So you're going to go to jail. And if you try to get away, the police are going to shoot you and kill you anyway. So, you know, which route to go? So what I thought was, you know, if anything happens to any friends that I know, I was not responsible. So I would cover my face.
So glad you're in Florida and I'm in Connecticut. I don't know why you know when you're now.
Listen, this is coming from when I was watching The Walking Dead with Zach and Adam, like, and we were talking about it, and I'm like, well, what if there's a cure? I'm like, so what if I got bit? And they're like, no, we'd have to kill you.
Yeah. Oh, guys, right now, if I ever get bit during the upcoming zombie apocalypse, please kill me.
But if there's a cure? What if we can just keep you in a box? I mean, we'll just give you food.
Yeah, but you're gonna turn into a zombie. They get cured. You're gonna rat it out, but living.
You should. Cured is another good. Anyway,
that's a discussion for another time.
But so for me, honestly, because I wouldn't, from what it sounds like, when you are, if you decide you're going to let the curse kill you, you're gonna die some horrific way. So I kind of don't want to do that. So if I had been cursed, I would not go after one of my friends. But what I would probably do is cover my face and like pick some random person, maybe like go somewhere. I would go the route. Honestly, it's a hard question. I would try to get the fuck out of this curse. And I would probably like I said, cover my face, kill someone, and then run and hope I don't get caught.
Look at JR, look at JR. What you pondering over there, Mr. Lopez? What you got, son?
Well, let me see. I always wanted to be a hitman. So what the perfect time to make some money, because you figure, but me, I don't know. I couldn't, honestly, I couldn't live with knowing that somebody else is suffering because of me. So I would have probably, this is the part that confused me a little bit with this film, was she went into this house basically to die and hope she stopped the curse without basically going anywhere, even though and the backfiring. But I would do the same thing. I would go isolate myself in the house, I can throw away my phone, and just
great. So I'm the bad guy here.
Just basically, you know what? You're gonna torture me. I'm gonna torture you. We'll see who kills who first.
Oh wow!
All right, so tiebreaker here. Rick, you're the
This
tiebreaker.
is easy. I'm killing myself, brother. I'm
Really?
gone.
God. So I'm the horrible one in the
I'm
group.
not. I can't live with myself. First of all, I can't live with myself knowing I killed someone else, and I also can't live with myself. Even if I escape it, knowing someone else is going through this, I caused it. I'm good, but someone else isn't.
All
I
right.
can live with that. I would probably honestly, I don't think I could kill myself honestly, but I would try and do something. Like I'll rob a convenience store, right? Little, someone just rob it, but don't take nothing. Give it away, but I'll let the cops kill me. Death by cop. That's what I'll do.
Damn,
That's
so
Rob.
I look like the evil person in the three of us.
It's all right, brother.
But I will
Okay,
tell you though,
okay.
here's the thing though, because if you notice, because Junior mentioned it, that I think if you try to go by suicide, it's not going to happen.
You can't kill yourself. That's what they said. You can.
No,
I-
you
I-
can.
You can.
No.
No, somebody has to witness it. No.
Somebody-
Well, someone has to. Yeah, just do it.
that's
So,
what
so,
I'm saying.
so because the entity itself plays
Yes.
with your head
Yeah.
and changes what you're seeing. So when you decide, because I'm sure it's not stupid, it's not going to go, well, everybody's going to try to kill themselves. And it's going to keep fucking with you. So if you try to, so you go your route and you do all this, and then all of a sudden you're sitting and you're like, fuck.
Oh, but you know what though? You know what? I'll be gone, long gone. My conscience will be clear, so I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, because if you think about this though, it's a horrific death. So what if a cop comes with a shotgun and blows out your bed? Now everybody just witnessed.
It is. I know. But the thing is, but I think that because you try to do that because it did it to her somewhat. I don't think that the entity knows that you can have this escape where you can just kill yourself and it's going to be done. No, it's still going to accomplish what it wants.
All right, so what I'll do is I'll go find me like a criminal or someone who deserves.
That's what
death.
I mean, right? I'm not saying I would pick.
I'll put on my Dexter Morgan outfit and go.
That's the route I would go. I would literally try to find someone who deserves it. I wouldn't go I should have clarified that. I wouldn't just walk into 7-Eleven with a hood on and do this. Like I would find someone who deserves it because, like Rick, I could.
Joe would probably find that guy from Dunkin' Donuts who was fucking getting all the orders wrong that time. No one wanted to kill that guy, by the way. All right, guys, let's wrap this up. Closing thoughts time. This was a fun one. JR, we're gonna start with you, brother. Closing thoughts, rate the film, any other nitpicks or praise you got for Smile 2022.
I gotta say one thing. This has been a great year for horror.
Yes.
And not only a great year for horror, but great year for women in the lead role. I mean, we had Daisy Edgar Jones in Fresh, killed it. We had Amber Midthunder in Prey, killed it. We had Sosie Bacon in this one, she killed it.
Yeah, she was good, yeah.
We had Jenna Ortega, killed it. And we had Mia Goth, killed it. I mean, it's been a great year for women in the lead role of in horror, a genre that basically is, to be honest, the women are always fluff and they're made into these like sweet characters, but then we have all these amazing actresses come on, basically put a stamp that, you know what, horror is getting stronger. And I mean, she did a great job. For me, I'm gonna give this one a 4. I would go higher, but like I said, I just that the big woman thing kind of messed me up, and I wasn't a big fan of the ending because not for nothing, this is the a-hole in me. If we just had a conversation of what this curse does, and you're in this house, I'm not walking in the house with you. I'm sorry, no. We just had a conversation about this. I know what's gonna happen. You're on your own. I don't know you. As far as I'm concerned, you did this to yourself. Don't put this on me. I'm out. So that's the only they pick. The ending. I know the ending basically leaves open. There's going to be a sequel. We all know there's going to be a sequel. But for me, one more thing. Should have had more Cal Penn because that dude is freaking awesome. But 4.
All right, Joe, it's all up to you, my buddy, my boy, my psychologist. What you got?
All right, so kind of like I'm a little bit with JR. So My only nitpicks in some movies is when I see some scenes that are very familiar. And I will say the demon burning reminded me of Hereditary. If you have not seen Hereditary in a while, you know, when she watched her husband burn, I mean, that's what it kind of reminded. The living room kind of looked like Hereditary because I'm like, did they use the fucking same set? And I got a little pissed because I was enjoying the movie, but when you gonna take me out for that one moment, and then my brain's gonna now not be in the movie. And when Rose eventually kills herself.
Rose, that's her name. Good.
I said the name before.
No, we were like,
watch when you play it back.
Name, but we don't see Sosie Bacon.
Oh no, watch when you play it back. I said Rose before. Nobody picked up on it.
I think of Rose. I think of Rose DeWitt Bukater, my girl.
Oh, see, I think of Rose the Titanic, but
that's Rose DeWitt Bukater, son.
Oh, I don't know her last name. So
I know
right.
everything about that movie, motherfucker. I'm a horror fiend. Ask me about James Cameron's Titanic, and I can name everything A to Z. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
Right. But and then also, so when she burned herself, and Kyle Gallner. If you guys, he has been in he was a
Walking Dead.
Yeah, he was in Walking Dead. He has done a whole lot.
Just recently, I saw him. Damn, what was it?
Well, he was
Halloween.
And
Halloween Kills.
No,
I'm sorry. It was Scream. I'm sorry.
It was Scream. He was a Scream.
It was a Scream.
He was in the new Nightmare on Elm Street. But I mean, he's been around for years. So when he is watching her burn,
Supernatural,
the same shot.
No?
He did appear in Supernatural. No, he was in Smallville.
I was just gonna say a DC show.
Bart Allen in Smallville.
Yeah, Bart Allen, yeah, that's right.
So when
good show.
She's burning herself, and you see his eyes, it's the same shot from Hereditary. So that was my only nitpick. I mean, it's nitpick. Other than that, I actually did enjoy the movie. We've all have been ad nauseum on this. It was long. When I started it, I tried to start it. I started it before I had to go to work, thinking
it's long.
I thought this movie was maybe an hour and a half. So I hit play, and then I paused it because I had to do something. I'm like, fuck, it's an hour and 55.
Now, you know what's sad about that? Like, I saw Nope, and that was exactly 2 hours, right? Around, give or take. And when Smile came up, I was going to watch it. I wish at the time. It said an hour and 45 minutes. 48. 55. Again, give or take. I'm like, oh, this is short. But in reality, no, it's not. It's almost 2 hours. But everything is getting so long now. That anything under 2 hours
like, honestly, there's a lot of in here you could have removed and still delivered just as good of a movie. Mm-hmm. See, I like to sometimes one-up JR, which is like the fun part of us doing this, because I had it as a 4, but I was waiting to see if you guys were going to be a little more critical on it. The other part is being a psychologist. I kind of felt she's a psychiatrist and that she handled this whole situation just the wrong way.
She was the worst therapist.
Adam just kept going, why is she not doing this? I'm just like, we're not going to talk about that.
Dude, I caught that. That. She was bad.
Literally, there was so much in this movie. I was going to do a 3.5, but I'm going 4 on this one also.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, nice. I'm a 3.5 guy on this one. I think that's a fair score for what it was. It was, again, not really original. We saw story beats very similar to this, but the unique approach it took towards these themes, I think, was pretty cool. Again, one of the best scenes in the film was when Rose entity. She's in the car, and then the other lady comes. She's out of focus, right?
Her sister.
She's out of focus. She's blurred, She slowly comes up. Also, her neck swivels, and I saw that in Terrified before this. So
that's what I was saying. It appeared that they did call that out. That the same scene had been already done.
So that would have been so awesome if I just didn't see it already.
Here's the thing, though.
Terrified did it better.
Okay, but when I brought that up before, my point is we should maybe stop doing that because these people just all happen to write their movies.
But Terrified came out a couple years ago.
Did it?
There was That's what year was that?
I thought Terrified was 2021.
Was it?
Yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, so I'm saying so we don't know how long the movie went into production.
He's right. We don't
know.
What
I'm trying to say is that Oh, so you know what? So the idea for these movies come within a 3-year window of
so
each other.
Similar though.
I
Holy
get that.
shit.
So just, I mean, it's just weird that it's a coincidence
it's
that a
not a
lot of
knock.
things you see certain patterns. Could maybe these people have all hung out and somebody came up with an idea?
It's
And
possible.
somebody
No,
said,
it's
"I'm going to
possible.
do this," and then they all came up. However, it is very coincidental that it just seems to be you see this pattern, but we got to kind of stop knocking it.
Yeah.
Because I did it myself.
When I also mentioned it wasn't truly original in a sense with the whole smiling bit is the Blumhouse film, Truth or Dare. That was more like tongue in cheek. They knew how ridiculous that was. So, but still, it did it. But Smile did it in a way where it kept it scary. Because there was scary moments in this. I'm not gonna lie. There was the way this film was shot really well. The lighting was really good. They spent a lot of money on sound design here because the transitions usually had some kind of sound transition going into the next. Good stuff on that point. So on a technical level and a direction level, again, the directors knew on the feature film part. I think he did a good job with the camera angles. And even the most simplest things when it involves the smiles, the way he framed it and like shot it where it was kind of scary. It didn't look goofy. Or like Truth or Dare went for that goofy over the top, like this one was more grounded and more like, oh shit, like it's going for the scare factor. Now my only knock, well not my only, but jump scares, which they were done well. There's a lot of them in this movie, so if you're not a fan of the jump scare, it might turn you off a little bit. But they're well done. But it's just dude. Slow down a little bit.
You have to do that when you want to fill in a 2-hour movie.
You know
so if you didn't do a 2-hour movie, you wouldn't have to put
2-hour movie full of jump scares. So it's a law of diminishing returns when it comes to something like that. I guess that's what I'm getting at. But yeah, the sound design great. The other thing JR could know. The first guy, the Dean Ambrose looking motherfucker, I hated. That guy was annoying. I saw the movie twice. That guy kept repeating that shit over and over. What the mom, the family, the kids are all gonna die. Everyone's gonna die. Oh my god, that guy's
you're gonna die. You're gonna die.
Get out of here! Just get this guy out of here, man. I hate this guy. He's annoying me. My anxiety was through the roof listening to this guy. He blew my buzz. I hated that guy, but he was, non-factor. Anything else, guys, you want to bring up before we close it out?
No, all good.
No notes. All good. Well, guys, thank you once again. We are in December. We got lots of good stuff coming up. I'm Ricky Grimes, JR, the motherfucker, and Joe, the psychologist. We are the 3 corners of horror. Thank you. Come back. Stay safe. But most of all, stay scared.